What is up, everybody? Do we have volume? Do we have volume? We got people coming in. Hey, hey, hey. The gang's all here. What is going on? Still in my work clothes. Pardon the filthy nature of my hoodie. What is going on, everybody? It's Monday night. Let's uh let's talk about fishing. I don't this isn't normally something that I would talk about. A couple years ago, when that whole thing with the walleye tournament guys doing what they were doing. Um, Hold on again. Sorry, I had to change hats. That other hat was squeezing my head like this. Feel one of my eyes starting to bulge out. Um, when that whole thing with those when those walleyes guys got caught in that tournament, I didn't really say much because what are you going to say? The simple fact is that I don't care what it is in life, whether it's your taxes or a fishing tournament. If you want to cheat, you're going to cheat. That's the nature of it. And it's like trying to stop every possible threat. You can't do it. If you're a parent with a child, you can't. It's not possible. You can't. After 9/11, they tried to lock down everything at the airports, and you can't. If someone is that bound determined to do something, it's usually pretty hard to stop it. And well, I forgot what the hell I was even saying. Um, Totally forgot what I was saying.
You say you just started it out with the guys getting caught.
Oh, the Derby stuff. I just saw that. I just read that thing about the guy with that crappie in Kansas, the new state record, and the record went by weight, and so he fudged the weight and filled it with whatever. I don't know. I saw there was something in it, small and round. So I don't know, but they disqualified it. And rightfully so. It's tampered with. I mean, that means that you meant to do it. I don't care, and then it takes away from the fact that that fish was already big, and you dishonored that fish too. Anyway, I don't want to get too deep into that, but we start talking about Walleye Fest and Walleye Fest when it was the Lions Club Derby was always a length derby, and it was one of the few around, but the more and more I see these issues with weight based derbies, um, the more and more obvious it is that people are actively cheating. And if a couple are being caught, I got to think there's many more that aren't being caught. And there's something to be said for not being able to fudge the length of a fish. It is however long. I've heard of some derbies, especially in areas where there's slot limits, where people have trimmed fins so they were shorter, but you can't really make them longer. You can stuff them and make them heavier, but you can't really make them longer. And so maybe, and honestly, let me ask you a question: If does it matter the unit of measurement if if you win a derby? I mean, if everybody's on the same field, so if whether it's whether it's a length derby or a weight derby, what does it really matter? It's a unit of measurement. Whatever the unit of measurement is you successfully caught the most amount of that measurement. But weight and length go hand in hand. I mean, now that fish I caught yesterday, that walleye we got up in Ontario, that fish wasn't even 27 inches long and it was 10 pounds. 10 even. Like the scale bounced around a little bit and it settled on 10. We didn't get a girth measurement. It was enormous. Now, in a situation like that, that fish would have been underserviced by a length only measurement. Whereas if it was a weight, derby, you would get more for it and a lot more for it. So I can see at that point where maybe you would say, oh, that fish would be cheated on for its competitive value. But there's not too many other examples where I can think where that would be, because I just think to myself, what would it matter? You win the derby and let's say you're fishing a 5-fish walleye derby, or a team event, and your average of Night of Lake walleye is 3 pounds. Let's say you were someplace where it was 5 pounds. It doesn't matter. So 5 times 5 is 25. That's your unit of measurement. And everybody says, what's it going to take to win today? Oh, I think it's going to take 25, well, what if you just change the number to, I needed 5 20-inch fish or 21-inch fish to get to that 4 or 5 pound average. Oh, I'm going to need 100 today. Oh, well, you would know that it would be 100 inches. And what would it matter what the unit of measurement was? So I think the more and more we as a community see these cheaters falsifying their fish by making them heavier, I think the more people are automatically leery of anything that has to do with weight. And now anytime it's a weight-based tournament, people are going to want to see some sort of x-ray of every fish and where does it end. Again, you can't make them longer, at least not exponentially, to where it would be some huge advantage to try and really mutilate the fish. So I don't listen. You could start a different set of records, I guess. I don't know. Everybody would be like, oh well, everything was always done by weight. I get it, and you could still have weight, but have it be secondary, or third in it, or have it part of an equation. Like they do when they're scoring a turkey or even a deer. It's all these measurements added up. Or a turkey scoring is an equation. It's this plus this plus this. So, all right, I've been talking. Let's go back. We'll see who's here. I can see people are commenting. Let's do a quick roll call. Well, we're a couple minutes in, 10 minutes in. What's up, everybody? If you're just joining us, my name is Matt, the Awakening Angler. This is Monday Night Fishing live. Merlin Johnson, Mark Webb, Thad Lance, John Karnowski. Hello, neighbor. Bob Bender, Ed Roser, Keith Horns. What's up, buddy? The Fishing Lure Tape Company. Hello, everyone. Mark Costello, John Burrows. Hello from Florida. I'm not sure about that one. Don Terry. Merlin Johnson. The parameters are the same for everyone. Fair as can be. Yeah. And so that's a quick, we'll go back and forth here. Exactly. If everyone's playing by the same rule, then when you deem that rule to be the most competitively fair, Larry Melnick, how are you? Mike Urema, Matt, your 10-pound, 27-inch would not have been cheated at all if the rules are posted and everyone is the same. Bassmasters bring in 5 alive and are punished if a fish is DOA. I'm not even talking about limits and transportation and stuff like that yet. I mean, I'm not talking about that. I just mean how the unit of measure, because listen, it's been, as long as there's been money involved in anything, not just fishing, you have a cheating element. People have talked about this in bass fishing tournaments through the South for years and years, and so keeps 5 fish in a pen out in the middle of the pond and feeds them all year, and those are his tournament fish. And but you can't. I don't know. I'm just saying that it just seems to me that that a length of measurement is harder to manipulate. You can cut them open, you can, Mark, but then what's the sense of making your anglers bring them in alive? You're just going to kill them anyway, and I don't want to do that. John, did you see John Burrow's comment? Thanks, John, for the clarification. That Hayden new follower is my granddaughter. Okay. She's talking to you, not me, so that's better. 1 fish, 3 fish, 5 fish, doesn't matter. It just has to be the same for all. Exactly. And if you did your 5 longest fish, there would be no difference in the length measurement as opposed to the weight measurement. Do you think that there would be a less, like, what is everyone's thoughts? Do you think it would be somehow lessened if you went by total length and total inches as opposed to total pounds? I mean, you would very quickly establish your trophy ranges, just like you would in weights. They would very quickly translate. Some fishing circles, people only talk to each other in terms of length and inches about the fish they catch, and they don't know the weight in pounds. And other places or other species tend to lend themselves to immediate poundage. That I got a 5-pounder, I got a 10-pounder, I got a, so it's not universal. It goes back and forth. And I would assume that it's almost 50-50 because there are a lot of people. Talk to anybody that is a hardcore northern pike fisherman, and or muskie, and they will almost always talk to you first and foremost for their trophy in terms of inches. So then if you were doing a northern pike or a muskie derby, wouldn't it make sense that you would do total inches? So it just depends. And I'm curious to see and hear what people say to that. This is a great topic for tonight because it's timely. Yeah, Mark. I mean, you can't stop a cheater. Right? You can do everything you can to keep everybody is fair, because the vast majority, and I speak as a promoter, and I had 1,400 anglers last year in Walleye Fest. Which, who wants to take a bet right now before we get into sales season for Walleye Fest? Who wants to take a bet on how many anglers we have in Walleye Fest this year? I mean, um, places are already selling out around the lake. People have been making reservations for months. Um, I get multiple phone, text messages and emails a day asking, "Hey, when are tickets going on sale?" And it's coming soon, but um, I want to make sure that the vast majority, the 99.9% of all of my anglers know and trust that that they're getting a fair shake, that everybody has the same odds, that everybody is going into it with an equal chance, that through skill and hard work and dedication that they can catch that fish of a lifetime during the tournament. And I don't want ever people to think, oh, I don't have a chance, somebody's going to cheat or whatever. Um, so bass fishermen usually relate to weight, and trout fishermen always seem to relate to length. Yeah, length is the best way with provisions for in the event of a tie, like the Walleye Fest does, where weight is the last unit used. Well, get weight is the second tiebreaker, and then girth was the third. Um, and even that, I would like to go to a much simpler format, and even if it was just who caught it first was the tiebreaker, because again, weight and girth are just easily manipulated, and then you got to get into uh, more than you want. Mike, you I 100% agree that length is tougher to manipulate. It just has to be posted ahead of time. If you don't like the rules, don't sign up. I appreciate the fact that you have taken time away from your family and life by stepping up to continue this derby. Oh, thank you. And listen, we're doing more than continuing it. We're making it fantastic. I dropped my glasses. I want to make this the focal point event of the year for fishing in the Northeast. I mean, why not? Why we have an incredible body of water that for one weekend a year, I think we should share it and open our arms and show people what we have and invite them to enjoy it. We want to make sure that we always have funding for our stocking programs that we've always taken for granted. Boy, make sure that people come in and enjoy the resources that the stocking contributes and maintains. Um, Steve Smith, 1800 this year. Yeah, I'm going for more than that. I think we go well into the 2000s. Um, in the old days, in the 80s and early 90s, it was three to 5,000. 4,400 was the most they had in one year. Um, and that just means that there's so many people enjoying what's going on. Um, we have announcements coming where we've got everything has to be planned before you can say it, and I'm never one to keep a secret, especially when it's exciting. But we'll get there. And that's why tonight, talking about this, I mean, this conversation we've had tonight about perception and things like that is is directed to a number of things, but it also affects my derby and how it's perceived. And I've carried on the tradition of how it was always done by length. And the more and more I see, the more I agree with it. And you would like all of your constituency to unanimously agree with with every decision that you make. Um, I'm not making any decision. I'm going with what it always has been, and now I'm just seeing further proof that that's really the right way to go. Um, and something too, these big fish. I'm working very hard right now to come up with solutions to where the derby, and this is an important thing to hear. The derby would not require you to kill that fish in order to enter it, to bring it in live and all that stuff. You would have the option that you could do it, and if it was deemed a placing fish. How do I say that? I'm trying to make our derby so it's a no kill derby. You can do whatever you want with your fish once it's satisfied our needs, but I want to try to get away from having to kill the biggest fish in our lake, just to make sure that we bring them in and weigh them or measure them. So that's all. That's something that last year I know with my staff, myself, we were very diligent in trying to move that process along as quickly as we could, so people could, if they were going to release the fish, get it back to the water, and some did. But that's a tough thing sometimes, and I want to get away from having to have that be an aftermath of our derby, because we have so many amazing fishermen, so many anglers that are participating last year and are going to participate this year, that I want to make sure that we protect our resource as much as we enjoy it. What people do with their catch once like I say, once we're done with it, is completely at their own discretion. And by letter of the law, it is clearly stated what can and can't be kept and all that stuff and limits. And that's not me. Yeah, we will have stations like last year, centrally located, either on the water or as close to as possible. Yeah, Carl has made a couple suggestions that we have. I've already announced that there's going to be a ladies division. That I have some early ideas on a kayak division. So we have a couple options. We'll have a full segment on that, but I kind of got off on this original tangent about the derby stuff and units of measure. It was like science class. I felt like a science teacher all of a sudden. I'm like, today we're talking about units of measurement and how it affects and fishing. But I like the idea. I like the idea of making sure that everything we do is paying attention to the bigger picture and benefiting everyone while not harming anything, as least as possible. And when we talk about our water and our lake and this lake and any body of water we might be on, that's my primary focus. Is I care as much about the fish as I do about my anglers that fish in the derby with me. Both equally important, but without the fish, we don't have any of us, and we don't have what we love to do. And so my primary focus is always on fish care and making sure that we can be as minimally invasive as possible, while still using it as a recreational resource, which is what we're doing, and I don't have any problem with that. Mike Castler, I just think it's awesome that you have kept the Walleye Fest alive. We should all cherish the great fishery we have in Oneida. Yeah, preach it from the highest rooftops. I have been talking a lot with the Oswego County Department of Tourism and the people up there who are committed to showcasing the wonderful county that I live in. I live in Oswego County. Um, about a third of the shoreline area of Oneida Lake is in Oswego County. Um, Oswego County is home to some world-class fishing, over 5 or 6 species. It encompasses the Oswego and the Salmon River, um, various other creeks and tributaries, the Eastern Lake Ontario within its borders. So we're in the final talks with them being a sponsor for Walleye Fest, and I'm proud to say that I'm from here. I graduated high school in Oswego County. I grew up here. Um, these are my home waters. I love sharing them with everybody. I do it on video, and now I've got the chance to continue this in the way I want to do it, on this Derby on Oneida Lake, and who knows, maybe other bodies of water in the future. I have thought about multiple other fisheries in this state that I would like to do a walleye fest at. So, there's that. Yeah, I just read your comment, Mike. But again, if you go with a length system only, you don't have to worry about a belly full of moon eyes. Not that you want a Lake Ontario fish entered, but as far as weight goes, if you go away from weight, you don't have to worry about that. Um, and again, we can go down the one-off scenarios on that endlessly, and I know because I do it in my head. We can't answer. We can't. You can't. You can't stop them all. Um, but anybody else got any questions that we kind of got off a little bit? I'm glad we did. It's I like talking about this stuff, and I want to create a derby that is awesome. How else would you say that? I want to create a derby that's incredible, that people look forward to every year. And last year we gave away 14,000 some dollars. Um, that was just in prize money, not to mention double that in prizes that we gave away, all the kids prizes, lifetime licenses to the top 4 or 5 kids. um, Dakota Lithium gave us a truckload of stuff to give as prizes to the winners. Those guys walked out. Those top 3 guys walked out with a pile of stuff. Um, it was awesome. I loved being able to give back, but seeing that how much we were able to do. Um, the prize structure this year and the amount that we have in cash prizes and how that goes, the more people we get in, the more money that it goes up. It's not like it used to be where they had a preset amount based on 1,000 fishermen, and if there was more than that, well, it was still the same prize money. um, Now that's not the case. It goes up as it goes up. And just imagine we gave that much away last year just in prize money. Um, we've had way more sponsors come out of the woodwork already this year, saying, "Hey, we'd like to do this as a side pot sponsor," and man, it's crazy. So we have a lot of great stuff this year. It's going to be incredible. I'm I've been looking forward to it for about 4 months already, and now it's the end of February, so you got March and April. Um, Tickets will go on sale some point next month for the early birds. We got some cool little incentive prizes for you know, the first couple thousand people to get in. So, oh, let's see. Anybody else? Yeah, Mark Costello, you're on my list. I will get a hold of you and talk to you about Wednesdays. What time is it? It's 8 o'clock. Well, we're at a half an hour. If anybody's got any questions, anything you want to talk about, quick, get it in the comments and we can discuss. If not, we can call it a night. And thank everybody for coming out. We had quite a few people here this evening. Good conversation too. I like to talk about the Derby. And I do take a lot of people's input and really weigh it and see how it fits. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Not everybody, but still, my goal is to be the biggest and the best. That's my goal with it. They put new docks in the Night Ashore is good. Good. I'd like to see that facility be much bigger and nicer. All right, everybody. We'll call it an evening. Thanks for joining me. We'll do this every Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Keep your tip up. Thank you.